Good morning should be enough, I would say. Looks like Dave and Joe are ready. Darren. Oh, Darren. What an honor. What up?
All right, we will start off with David Newton.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you this off season. I want to ask you what pieces in the draft you feel like directly really helped your group, and gave you something maybe you were missing last year.
Okay. Short answer, all of them, because it's either impacting special teams directly on each play, or it's increasing the competition and depth on the team, so somebody could have a bigger role on special teams. So everybody in some sort of way. It's exciting to get the new guys in here. It's fun for me to have a 90-person team and kind of see what happens with a lot of positions that are really competitive. So I'm kind of teaching the whole roster and then seeing how it plays out as far as opportunities and who's available.
Yeah, I saw you guys were kicking right away yesterday. And how do you see that competition playing out? I know it's early.
We've been going at it for a couple of weeks. Yesterday was the toughest conditions we've had this spring with the rain and the wind. We had them kick into the wind, try to make it as hard as possible. It's been good. It's two guys who are working really hard. They're good workers, both Ryan and Matt, and they have different kind of skill sets, but they've been very cooperative. They've been challenging to each other and for everyone else. So all that's been great. No problem with either one of them, work ethic wise or fitting in with the team. It's been a nice experience.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, we will go to Joe, followed by Mike K.
Hey, Tracy, good morning. Hope you're well.
Hey, Joe, thanks. Yeah, I'm doing great.
On the skill set differences between the two kickers, could you expand on that a little bit, please?
Sure. Matt is more experienced. He's played on several NFL teams. He has a whole year of the kickoff rule that he's dealt with. So all of that is kind of already, the box is checked. He knows what he's doing on that. He's ahead mentally on all that stuff. Ryan is coming straight from college, so all of the rule stuff, it's all first time out. It's practicing with an NFL team. It's completely different, the lifestyle and all those things. So he's different in that way, but also has had a very successful last 2 years in college, has a great leg. So we're kind of seeing pros and cons of each guy and seeing where it goes. There's no reason to really call a leader anywhere in the near future.
And then, hold on a second.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. What about the skinny goalposts? Maybe those were around last year and I just didn't notice them, but kind of cool. And kind of, could you go into the reasons why and what those help you see or don't see?
Sure. The portion of practice that you're at last year, we were generally warming up on field 3 that had the permanent goalpost. But the skinnies, that's our most movable goalpost. It's easier for Greg and Danny to get moved around. Sometimes Nicole and Jamal. Also, had them at a lot of different teams, really. Some kickers really enjoy them. So always have it available as far as a smaller target, make you be precise, really give you kind of a different way to judge it. And then some kickers, it drives them nuts. Like they want their misses are not misses, and then it frequently, if you didn't note, even had this in the media. If you don't note that it's a skinny goalpost, you can get, yesterday's day looks a little different if you're not noting the difference. So we had a long time ago in San Francisco, we had a kicker that got noted in the media. He's going 6 for 11, and was just like not happy with that, even though they weren't the real goalpost. But logistically, we can put them anywhere on either field, so it helps for that kind of stuff.
Thanks.
Sure.
Hey Tracy, hope you're doing well.
Hey Mike.
Nice to see you. Hey. You kind of had like an exodus of kind of like the core special teams players this off season, and so now you get to cultivate a new group where you're not like really inheriting anyone, obviously, other than Radigan, who you've had in Seattle. What do you look for in a special teams player just in general when it's like an undrafted guy or a lower end of the depth chart guy? Like what is like the first thing that you want to see when you're kind of like, hey, I want this guy playing this position, what have you?
As simple as it sounds, similar to all the other jobs, is like, the guys that are successful really want to be successful. So you can find, even without the pads on or tackling or whatever, you can assess the attitudes towards special teams pretty quickly. And I haven't run into a lot of guys who had success who didn't want to be there or didn't see that as part of their job. So right there, you're trying to cultivate as well as assess like their interest level, more or less, is part of the beginning process of it. And then as far as the changes, I mean, that's what special teams is. That's what it is throughout the season. There's no one that reports harder on you than about the 95th guy on the roster. So that's just kind of where it is at all times. So I'm always for let's see who we have and make the best of whatever that is, whatever the skill sets are. We want to be as variable as we can to make it work.
And then a lot of us haven't been able to talk to Sam or obviously you about the switch up at punter. On the surface, somebody would say, well, you're switching out 35-year-old punters. What was like the thing that stood out about him that you said, hey, this could either be an upgrade or this could make the situation different in the room?
35 is my target age. Just into it, just in general. No, they're both the guy that's leaving, the guy that's showing up. Really solid veteran punters. It's nice in any transition period to have guys who have done it before. So really enjoyed working with Sam so far. I had a small relationship before, just from like pre-games and camps, that kind of thing. So he was really excited to get back here too, being somewhat local. So that was all has been a really nice transition to him being the punter so far. And it's nice to see him kick. This is the first time we really worked with him in the last month, to see him hit the ball. And all of it's gone smooth. His relationship with JJ has been fine, and then he is helpful to both of our new kickers.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, I apologize. I may be slightly above your target age there. You mentioned early on how much fun it was teaching a whole roster. What's the philosophy of teaching kind of a brand new group of special teams people in the absence of all the Sams and Lonnies and those kind of guys?
Well, thank you. I'd like to think you're teaching those guys as well, Darren. No matter what age you are. But every year, football kind of renews itself, and you just start from the beginning and make sure you can break down whatever you're doing structurally into the smallest possible pieces and try to teach the whole room that. So then when you start moving the pieces around, and like, hey, by the way, you got to play left instead of right today, that you kind of taught it in a basic enough way that all the stuff carries over as much as possible. That's
right.
something.
We will go over to Jeff, and we'll end with Cassidy.
Greetings, Coach. Jeff Hawkins from Charlotte Post.
Hey, Jeff.
The new kickoff rule. Are you in favor of it? Will it help?
Pretty minor differences. The headline is touchbacks to the 35-yard line. The NFL wanted more returns, more action after each kickoff. You would assume that would be the case. Not all of the intended consequences last year actually came to be, so we still have to see the games, see where we're at on that. But, yeah, anytime there's more special teams plays, it should be exciting. I'm all for the encouragement of kicking to cover and returning the ball also. So the minor alignment kind of things, the onside kick thing, I think will be unnoticed and almost immediately forgotten that was ever not the rule. I wouldn't worry about those too much, but the real structural difference is that the baseline touchback going to the 35-yard line is pretty major.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Sure.
Hey Tracy, how's it going?
Hi, Cass.
It feels like we've seen just about every offensive rookie, or at least Trevor, T-Mac, and I believe Jimmy out there returning. Is that just to kind of see who has what, or do you anticipate maybe all of them participating somewhat in the return game?
Jacoby was back there too. Moose, whoever's been here. That's kind of a raise your hand scenario. If you have returned a ball before, let's go see it. So that's kind of a volunteer squad. So that was the skill set of the guys that we happen to have. Some of the guys here have not done that before, but that fits in with some of the, like Dan Chisena doesn't return, so he doesn't go over there. David Moore does. It's just whatever the guy has in his history. Let's start from that. Start with what he's most comfortable doing. And this particular year, it's several guys who have caught and returned balls in games in college.
And then on that note, this may be a dumb question, but the ball size is different in college than the NFL. Do you notice guys like struggle with that a little bit when they first get here in terms of like knowing how to catch a punt, catch a kickoff?
That comes up more for the quarterback. I think in college it's also somewhat variable from team to team. So I'm sure we're talking about minute differences at from whichever college they were particularly from. But I have not run into a guy who the ball was too whatever, short, big, wide, fat, that they couldn't catch a ball. We had a very short player, Trendon Holiday, coached in college and at the Texans, that's arms were so small. I was like, hey, I can't do one-handed catches. But that was probably the same for him from birth.
Thanks, Tracy.
Hey, can I sneak in one more question?
I am still here. Let's do
Okay,
it.
Sure,
I just
David.
want to make sure she didn't cut you off. I want to ask you just horn speeds. Can you address that, what that means, and what have you seen out of that so far?
Yeah, I think we're all in favor of it. He has, you saw him yesterday. He's fast. So any way you can utilize that, let's do it. He's been a really good worker. He's intent on learning what to do, and he can't hide that he has acceleration and long speed as well. So that's been fun to watch.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach Smith. Appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, Michaela. See ya.